So
Right.
you have the accountability partner to challenge you and keep you on track for your business, and you want to work your business. Um, and so it really helps a lot. Yeah.
Okay.
And I have I have the greatest accountability partners, they just um yeah, and hopefully I'm a good accountability partner for someone else too, because I'm all
Right.
about the
It's a two-way
goals,
street.
and I take notes. Here's what you said you were going to do last week. How did that
Right.
work out for you?
Okay.
So
Welcome, 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 welcome. I am Catherine Gagno. I am the executive director of the Natural Life Business Partnership. So right now we are going to, today, I'm excited to share that our member, Ellen Zung, will join us to discuss the ever so timely topic of seasonal foods, especially as we get ready to plunge into summer. Mary Ellen is an integrative health coach, offering both individual and group health, nutrition, and lifestyle coaching, which is amazing. She runs seasonal whole food cleanse program and has a dietary with food allergies, dietary restrictions, and other health conditions. And she's also a member of the Natural Life Business Partnership. So she's here. She's in our waiting room. So we're going to have her get online with us. And also just sharing, she's been a member for 3 years and a health coach for 8 years. So congratulations, Marianne. Let's get her in the call with us. Great. Let's see, she's coming. Hi, Mary Ellen.
hello, how are you?
Good. How are you? I know, I'm so excited. As I said, you're my first connected conversation. So I'm so thrilled to have you be part of this new series that we're launching. And again, I think we had shared, and I just shared your amazing background with everybody. And I just think when you were sharing with me about your seasonality food programs that you run, as well as, just the amazing food is mood we had touched on, like there's just so many amazing pieces that come out of this. And I think, for here in the Northeast, as we change seasons, there's an abundance of, less fresh local markets. And, I walk into the grocery store, I sometimes get overwhelmed, but what are some things, we're going to dive right into this, but what are some things that you look for or can recommend as we go into the grocery market today, and we're looking at the foods that are in there? I'd love to hear what you do, how you approach this process.
Yes. So this is the most exciting time of the year for me in terms of keeping with the seasons, because everything is growing. And actually, this time of year, I try to avoid the grocery store as much as possible
Okay.
because we have so much abundance here, with everything growing. So I try
Right.
to, the farmers market is on my list for shopping every weekend.
Right.
Um, and you could go to farmers markets during the week too. I mean, just look them up wherever you live, see where they are, see how they fit into your schedule. But that's like priority number one. And then I fill in at the grocery store with everything
Okay.
else that I can't get at the farmers market.
Okay.
So yeah, so I don't know if that helps, but
No,
there are
it does.
uh,
What are some
if you
foods?
don't have a farmer's market
Yeah.
around, certainly, look for those things that are in season. So
Right.
look for the local, many grocery stores will set up right when you walk in, like here's local, and it's going to be less expensive,
Right.
and you're going to save those transportation costs of food coming from across the country. So that's what I would do if I didn't have a farmer's market.
Okay. And when you do go to like the farmer's market, because I know when I personally go, I I pull up, I get out of my car, so excited, but I like literally sometimes I get there and I paralyze because I'm so overwhelmed by all the amazing food stands and farm stands. It's like sometimes I don't even know how to approach it. Clearly, I try to bring a list, but
Mhm.
sometimes I'm not that buttoned up. So how do you approach the farmer's market? I mean, and how do you like navigate and like trying to buy things too that will hold, if you will, from a freshness standpoint? Is there anything that you have found works well, or what's your approach to it? Or
Yeah, yeah. That's a really great question because everything looks good, right? And there's
Yeah.
so much. What do you buy? So I think knowing what's going to go away next week,
Mm-hmm.
buy it now, like strawberries. You had to buy strawberries this weekend. They'll
Okay.
probably still be around next weekend, but everybody at the farmer's market was buying strawberries. So
Okay.
look to see what other people are buying too. Look to
Ah,
see what's,
that's super
what
smart.
is everybody checking out. And so knowing what's in season can help,
Okay.
because you want to focus in, like there was broccoli there this weekend. I know there's going to be broccoli there for the next couple of months. I don't need to cook broccoli now.
Okay.
Um, I want to get the spring lettuces and, um, as I said, the strawberries, things like that.
Okay. Do fruits seem to be more seasonal than, let's say, vegetables?
Right.
We
Yeah.
know tomatoes are fruit actually, but do you find that those are the things that are much more have their seasons? And based like too, I'm assuming too, based on where you live, you and I know are both from the Northeast, so we have this, we know what a little bit of our schedule is. And I guess every state too has their own schedule, if you will.
Yes.
So it's to your point. So it's kind of looking to see the abundance that's there, that kind of.
Right. Yes, this
Usually
is
in our
definitely the
kitchen.
time for fruits.
Fruits. Okay.
So the strawberries are going to be gone soon. You're going to start seeing the blueberries, the blackberries, cherries are going to start, coming in soon. And
Okay.
then apricots and plums and
Wow.
nectarines and peaches. So definitely get the fruits when you see them,
Okay.
because they're not going to last for long.
Okay.
And maybe even plan that into your just melons, right? The watermelons, just like
Right.
know that you're going to be eating fruits right now. And don't plan for a lot of other things, because you could have fruit for breakfast, you could have fruit for snack, you could have fruit for dessert.
Right.
um, it's just eat fruit now.
Okay. Fruit. It's all about the fruits.
Yeah.
um, and as we're, kind of looking at the farmers market, and as for you and your profession as a health coach and focusing on wellness, there must be things that you talk to your clients on, or, and maybe you'd be so willing to share. What are like those three, what are your three top tips that you like to share with your clients? Because I think that that's always helpful. And, if you could just give us a little glimpse. I mean, we know you're a coach and you're not going to give away all your secret sauces, if you will, but what if you could give us three of those, what would they be that you think would really kind of help and, give people a sense of what it is you do? Because I think sometimes too, a health coach, people really don't know exactly what that means,
Right.
and I personally do love the word coach, because I think, just it gives gives the idea that you are just kind of cheering someone on through the process, but you're also giving them, a little bit of a game plan. So, but what are those top three tips that you like to give your clients?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I always, everyone is an individual, right? I always meet them where they are and sort of help them. You can't, if you don't have a walking plan, you're not going to start running a 5K tomorrow. So,
Right.
make sure I meet them where they are. So really get to know them very well, and what they've tried in the past and what's worked and what hasn't worked. So I understand what their challenges are. But as far as tips, I think nutritionally,
Hmm.
uh, make sure half your plate is fruits and vegetables, right?
Okay.
So 75% of Americans don't get the recommended number of fruits and vegetables every day. So that's something that everyone can do to improve their hydration, their immune system, just as you said before, food and mood, right? Just their mood.
Right.
And we were just talking about fruits. Sometimes people say to me, "Oh, well, aren't fruits, full of sugar?" Yes, but they also come with fiber, minerals, vitamins, antioxidants,
Right.
water. you know, so those are the kinds of sweet things we want in our life. Those fruits. So,
Right.
and don't be afraid to have those. So another tip we're just everybody's stressed out, right? Everybody's
Right.
overworked. Um, you know, 1 in 4 women are taking antidepressants.
Wow.
People are not getting the recommended 7 to 8 hours of sleep. So sleep is a big thing for stress and just being able to cope and manage in terms of your mental health and not feel so overwhelmed all the time. And that can help you get ahead of what you need to do and get control over your schedule and your calendar so that things don't seem so difficult all the time and such effort, right? So, and that's where I help people sort of get organized around how are you going to get everything done that you need to get done and cook fresh food for yourself and your family, because that's what I want to make sure people are doing, is getting fresh food into their bodies, you know, instead of processed, and which is not good for our overall health and well-being, and you know, chronic diseases are on the rise, and metabolic syndrome.
And I love your idea of cope. You know, when you say cope in the sleep, and I mean, I'll never forget, it might have been probably over 10 years ago, but maybe not that long, but Ariana Huffington came out with, you know, when she had her career shift after she had sold Huffington Post, but she came up with her whole mantras of all around sleep. And I think, you know, getting that required 8 hours of sleep. So I love that you say that, because you know, it's one thing for her to say it, that's great, but it's interesting, you know, and I'm sure you've seen studies, et cetera, that really kind of zone in on that. And there's so much, not a lot of emphasis ever gets talked about how important the power of sleep is. So I love that you're sharing that. And coping, you don't think about it as a coping. So I've never heard that actually before. So I love that.
Yeah. And there's, you know, a correlation with sleep, lack of sleep, and obesity too. And we know that obesity leads to all these chronic diseases. I mean, everything with the pandemic has really, I think, brought that out in the press a little bit about obesity and chronic diseases and underlying conditions in your immune system being more susceptible to being sick.
Well, that's why it's important that we're even having this connected conversation so we can hear more about this. Speaking of connected, as a member of the NLBP, you know, we're talking here, you are as a coach, and we know that there's a lot of other various different coaches that are in the partnership, but what advice have you actually gained that has helped your business out of the NLBP? Because I've actually never come across such an amazing group of individuals that together lift one another. It's really quite unique, and you know, from the accountability triads. But again, like here you're all coaches, and you know, that's what you do. But here you are gaining perspective as well to kind of help, you know, increase and help you all out. So what is some advice that you've actually gotten from the group that's helped your business?
I think, I mean, definitely, just to your point, I think the biggest piece of advice, or the best learning that I've had from the group is, yes, we are all coaches, and we're not in competition. You know, the world needs coaches, and every coach is different, and every coach has something to offer. So I think that was good for me to understand that, yes, you know, I know all these amazing coaches, and they went to the same schools that I went to. And they learned the same things, they're doing the same things, but they're doing it in their way. And it's, you know, everybody has their own niche. And the bottom line is, you know, you get into coaching because you want people to be happy and healthy, basically. I mean, that's why I got into it. And share your story. I mean, many coaches have also become coaches because they've gone through challenges and they've learned personally. So they've seen what their clients are going through firsthand, and can really, you know, help them avoid some of the pitfalls they fell into.
Right. Which we all can, you know, very easily, I'm sure, go down those rabbit holes. And with, you know, I know that you've participated, you know, there's the accountability triads that Camille, as the founder, had launched, and, you know, we've got business challenges. You know, what would you say out of those accountability triads? Because that's something unique. And I have to be honest, you know, with in my background with being at an association, I've never heard of something. And it really actually kind of, it rings so true. And it's interesting that it's just, I think, an amazing premise, because it's hard to keep yourself accountable, because you can very easily slide off, or slide away, fall off the swing, whatever it may be, whatever it is. But this is the first time I've ever seen a group actually use these. And so how have they helped you, or helped and or redirect and put you in the right direction for your own business? And have you seen positive results there, as a result of being a part of one of those triads?
Yeah, the accountability triads are so important, because most of us in NLDP are sole proprietors.
Right.
So if we don't feel like working, there's nobody, it's
Right.
like, okay, it's Monday. I think I'll get up late, and, I was going to do 10 networking calls, but I just feel like doing 5, right? So
Right.
you have the accountability partner to challenge you and keep you on track for your business, and you want to work your business. And so it really helps a lot. Yeah.
Okay.
And I have the greatest accountability partners. They just, yeah, and hopefully I'm a good accountability partner for someone else too. I'm all
Right.
about the
It's a two-way
goals, and
street.
and I take notes. Here's what you said you were going to do last week. How did that
Right.
work out for you?
Okay.
So people know I'm going to help. I'm going to ask them about what they said, and I do that in my coaching groups too.
Right.
With folks, that's really important for both my individual clients as well as the group,
Okay.
the groups that I coach, is to listen really well, and hey, ask them what are your goals for this week. And
Right.
sometimes it's just, what I just want to get through this week without crying.
Okay. And is that something, do you think,
Whatever it is.
as you were saying coaching, I was, made me think actually, is that is that something that you think is like, uh, how do you distinguish yourself amongst all the other coaches? And is listening one of your, like, is that something that you think that is your unique qualifying factor about you that makes you such a unique coach? Or, is that something that you
Yes.
off, and I'm sure all coaches do it, but I think I think that's a special skill set. And so is that something that you like, is that a really big part of your practice?
That's super important. Listening, not just to what's being said and verbalized, but also what's not being said, the
Mm,
way things are said, and being able to follow up with non-judgmental questions
okay.
is super important, and just always being positive. So I do find that, throughout my life and my career, listening has been something that, um, you know, is a skill that I
Right. No, I love
have.
it. But it's, hey, it's a hard to find skill, to be honest. And it kind of goes back to, listen to what your body needs, right?
Mm,
And
listen
it gets
to
you right back into that whole, round in the loop, but brings you back to your food and, eating for the seasons. So
uh,
I love the whole premise. And what I think we'll do is, like I said, I think there's just so much opportunity. I know that you're running, I think it's on June
3rd.
23rd, you're
Yeah.
launching a week-long program. I'd love just if you could just share for like a minute just about what that is, so we could just share it, because I think people could really benefit from this. Love to hear a little bit about how that's offered.
Yeah, thank you. So each quarter, or each season, I
Hmm.
run a seasonal nutrition program, and it's short. It's just 5 days and lots of coach support. So we get on Zoom and we talk about what the program's all about, go through the materials. I offer everyone a 5-day menu plan with breakfast, lunch,
Right.
dinner, snacks, with seasonal foods, of course,
Okay.
and so everyone's getting whole foods.
Right.
um, they no added sugar, so they're cooking
Right.
and prepping. So on Sundays we get together on Zoom and we prep for the week. So
Okay.
we do some
Fun.
cooking, we do some prepping, and we talk about how you're going to use these foods during the week. So
Okay.
everything's done for you. All you have to do is put it together and eat it.
Right. Okay.
Um, so it's great, and it's got a lot of support, as I said, and education. It comes with the recipes. It comes with a shopping list. So
Good. So that's
in a
one less
way,
thing you
it's
have to do.
teaching people. Yeah, I do the menu planning, but everybody else does the meal prep.
Okay.
So, that would be the next thing after sort of master the meal prep is how do I meal plan? And hopefully by seeing the foods that are in season each season when I do this, people get used to that whole
Okay. And it
concept.
becomes part of their daily
Yeah,
routines, right?
yeah,
That's what we don't want to just do it weekly. We want to incorporate it into our daily lives. So I love
yeah,
that.
and
It seems like a great way to jumpstart.
yeah, yeah, it's a great way to jumpstart. And I don't want people to take it too literally,
Right.
because as I just said before, you want to use those foods that are out there at the farmer's market that are fresh right now.
Right.
You don't want to be eating strawberries shipped from California in December. So they're not going to be on the list. But
Right.
um, yeah, so you don't have to menu plan so tightly. I try to tell people just do 3 dinners, just
Right.
plan 3 dinners and 3 lunches for the week. And that gives you a lot of flexibility if you see something that
Oh, that's smart.
or leftovers or things like that, because I think sometimes people overbuy and get too overwhelmed. So
Right. Oh, I love it. I love it.
yeah,
All right. So June 23rd.
third.
Okay. All right. So I've got to get myself signed up. But anyway, all right. So, well, I think, I love this. I want to first thank you for joining us and being our first part of our series of this Connected Conversations. I really appreciate the valuable insights that you've shared, because it's really important for us to share with this, not just our own community, but the greater community at large, and really share with them, the unique value by being a part of the partnership, but also, all the value that we can bring to the greater community as well. So I thank you, thank you, thank you for doing this with me. And, I look forward to taking these tips, on my next journey to the farmer's market, which I'm going to go this weekend, because you've inspired me. So thank you so much. And
Thank you.
all right, great.
Yeah,
Well,
thank you so much, Catherine.
right, thank
My
you.
pleasure.
Have a great day, Mary
All
Ellen.
right, you
Okay,
too. Bye
bye.
bye.